Hey, Brook Scholars, welcome back to Remote Learning with me, Mr. Scott. Happy Tuesday. The sun is shining. It's going to be a beautiful day. And oh, am I excited for today's reading. Um, let's just get started. I don't want to ruin any surprises. Let's just jump right in. Here we go. Are you ready? Let's do this. Little Books, Big Hit. Little Golden Books. Have you ever read a little golden book? Chances are good that you have. They are some of the some of the most famous children's books in the United States. Little golden books can be found in many stores and libraries. They have made reading easier and more enjoyable for millions of young readers. A great start. At one time, children's books cost too much money for many families. Most books for children were made out of fancy paper. Almost all books for children were fairy tales or nursery rhymes. However, in 1942, a group of people who print books called publishers had a great idea. Bing! What if they could print children's books that could be sold at department stores? The books could be fairy tales, or about regular people, or other interesting topics. The books would be so enjoyable that children would be encouraged to love reading. Little Books for All! It did not take long for Little Golden Books to become a big hit. In the first year, more than 1.5 million books were sold. Until then, many children's books cost $1.50. That was a lot of money a long time ago. But Little Golden Books cost only 25 cents. More people could afford the books. So Little Golden Books could be found in grocery stores. The books were easy for buyers to find because they had their own unique look. They all had golden foil on the spine of the book. Stories to read and enjoy. At first, only 12 different titles of Little Golden Books were printed. One of these 12 was called The Pokey Little Puppy. It is still in print today. More than 15 million copies of this title have been sold, which is more copies than any other children's picture book. From the spines, you can tell that these are little golden books. Ooh, I see the golden foil on the spine. Super cool. Soon, more titles were added. The book Two Little Miners taught children about a job. The book Here Comes the Parade told all about the big Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade that happens every year in New York City. Dr. Dam, the bandaged man, gave readers some tips for how to stay safe and healthy. The book also came with a sample of bandages. Huh. Pokey little puppy, Dr. Dam, the bandage man. There we go. Some of the books were also sold with records. Children could play the records on a record player and hear the book being read out loud. Children could follow along in the book as they listened to the words. Now, even young children could enjoy books before they knew how to read on their own. Reading, carrying, collecting. Many features of Little Golden Books have made them special. Their illustrations are very detailed and colorful. The stories are short, so they are easy for young children to read. Their lightweight makes them easy to carry. Another unique feature is found on the inside of the book cover. There, readers will see the words, "This little golden book belongs to blank." In the blank space, a child can write his or her name. This feature helps the child feel connected to his or her book. It is not unusual for readers to keep their books until they become adults. They sometimes give their collection of books to children they know. The books are still popular today with children, families, and schools across the country. It is not surprising that more than 2 billion little golden books have been printed. The next time you were in the library, at your school, or in your town, see if you can find some little golden books. They still have the golden foil on their spines, just as they did in 1942. There is a special place inside each little golden book where children can write their names. And there it is. Incredible. Now, I need to stop and think about what I have just learned. There was a whole bunch of information in there, including numbers about the years and money. There was so much going on. But I have a little strategy that I want to share with you. And that is when I'm going to be retelling all of the facts that I just learned, I'm going to be thinking about the headings. Now, the heading, remember, is a text feature that authors use to give readers a clue as to what information you're going to read in that section. Some sections can be really short and only have maybe one paragraph. Some sections can have longer paragraphs or many, many paragraphs. But the heading is a great way for me to stop and think about all of the information that I've learned. Watch this. So, in the introduction, of course, it introduced the idea that the subject, the main topic of this article, is all about a series of books called Little Golden Books. And they're very, very popular in the United States, and they've been really, really enjoyed by people for a very, very long time. A great start. Okay, so this was they were talking about how back in the day in like 1942, it was really hard for kids to do their reading, especially at home, because books cost a lot of money and people couldn't afford to buy all of those books. So then in 1942, a group of people called publishers, which are people that make the books, they decided, what if we came out with a series of books that could be about fairy tales or anything else. Doesn't have to be about fairy tales, and loads of people will find them, will buy them, will read them, and enjoy them. Then we got little books for all. Now, in this section, it's when suddenly they became really, really popular, these little golden books, and families could afford them. They weren't as expensive as some of the other books that had fancy paper, and so that's what made them so expensive. But because they were cheap, families could buy them, and more kids got into reading, and they got excited. And one of the things that was particularly important about these books, and special and unique, was that on the spine they had that golden foil, and so it was very recognizable for families when they were in grocery stores. Stories to read and enjoy. Yes. So this is when they started to tell us a little bit about some of the titles of the books that were available and how popular they became. So there were 12 that came out initially, 12 that were released, and one of the ones was called The Pokey Little Puppy. Little side note here. I know that that book is still very, very popular, and I believe it may have been either Miss Chrisman or Miss Oulette who remembers reading The Pokey Little Puppy when they were small, when they were young and just starting to read, and they got really excited about that book. So even though it came out a long time ago in 1942, The Pokey Little Puppy is such a popular book that people still read it and enjoy it today. All right, what else did we learn about in stories to read and enjoy? Now, check this out. Even though the heading for this is on one page, this paragraph over here is still a part of the same section. So this paragraph, soon more titles were added. All of this and paragraph 7, so paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 are all still part of the same section. So this heading describes all three of those paragraphs. Even though there's a page break here, and you go on to the next page, page 2, 6 and 7 are still paragraphs that are included in that section, stories to read and enjoy. Over here, we learned about other titles that became really popular, Two Little Miners and Dr. Dan the Bandage Man, which I've never read, but I really want to because it sounds absolutely hilarious. And then there's one about the Macy's Day Parade. And again, these are really, really popular books. And we got pictures here, a little graphic feature of what they actually look like. And even though we're looking at the front of the book, you can still see that special golden foil spine on the left-hand side there. Now, these are two separate books, by the way. There should be a space between there. Oops, sorry. Some of the books were sold with records. Yes, so you know what a record is, right? It's like vinyl, like you got it on wax. You like usually you have like music on them, and then you put them on, and you're like, and so yeah, so it's music, but it wasn't music that was on these. It was someone telling the story. So someone had recorded their voice, they put it on there, and then you would buy it. And oh no, sorry, it would come with the book. So you buy the book, and then there was a record in there with it, so you could sit and have like an audio book, like a and read and enjoy the story while someone reads it to you. Super cool. What else? That was about it. Okay, next section, the last section for the last three paragraphs, reading, carrying, and collecting. Okay, so it described here about the illustrations, about how they were very detailed and very beautiful, and they were very light. And if you've probably seen these books, right? You've seen them at like a dentist's office. You're in there and you got to wait for a while. You go in, you go, hello, my name's blah, 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 blah. Okay, have a seat, please. And then you're sitting there for what feels like forever. And then you look down and they've got all the games and puzzles and things, and you probably see like a collection of little golden books or the doctor's office. Yeah. So, last section. Reading, they became very popular. They were lightweight, they're not heavy, so they're easy for children to carry. There was a special page right in the beginning of the book where you can write your very own name in this. It said, "This little golden book belongs to," and then you can write Mr. Scott right there. Well, I would write Mr. Scott because I'm Mr. Scott. You're not Mr. Scott. You would write your own beautiful name right there on that line. So it's very, very special. It's very personal. Like, this is my book. I love this book. I'm going to read this book many times. And then some adults still have those books from when they were children and they first got their books. Sometimes they have a collection of books. And then finally, last paragraph, the books are still popular today with children. You can find them most anywhere. Here it says, look in the school, look in your library, and then they still have the golden foils on their spines, just like they did in 1942. Woo! That was a lot of hard work. That was a lot of thinking going on right there, team. Well done. Let's get to some questions. We've got 8 questions to get through. What is one reason that many little golden books have sold? They cost less money than many other books. They are available at libraries. They have more illustrations than most books, or they include nursery rhymes. What do you think? Really? Okay, well, let's go back and see if we can get some evidence here. All right. Let's go with that teal again. I quite like that. So where was it? Where did it say that they, hang on. Well, one reason that many, they are small. Many, little, many. What is one reason that many little golden books have been sold? Way back here, I remember it said something about the cost of money. In the first year, more than 1.5 million books were sold. Until then, many children's books cost $1.50, and that was a lot of money back then. But little golden books cost only 25 cents. More people could afford the books. Yes, in the section Little Books for All, which is perfect when you think about how it asks about how many books are sold, we know that they cost less money than any of the other books. Very cool. All right. So, question number 2. What is the meaning of the word collection as it's used in paragraph 9? Does it mean items that are put out for others to see? A group of similar items that are saved? Money gathered for an important purpose, or an old object that has special meaning. Now, hopefully by now you know that Mr. Scott loves it when they tell you where the answer is. I still don't know why they do this. But it says in paragraph 9, the word collection. So let's zip back to paragraph 9. It was one of the last paragraphs. See what it says. Oh, here we go. Look, it is not unusual for readers to keep their books until they become adults. They sometimes give their collection of books to children they know. So this is when you're a child, you get the book, you write your name in it, you love that book, you take care of it, you read it many times, and then you start to get older and you keep that book with you and all the other books that you have from the little Golden Book series, and then you might give it to someone, you might give it to another child for them to enjoy. So what is the meaning of that word collection? Items that are put up for others to see, a group of similar items that are saved, money gathered for an important purpose, or an old object that has special meaning. Really? Well, if you said B, you'd be absolutely right. A group of similar items that are saved. Now, you could have a collection of most anything. Do you have a collection of something? Ooh, collection of stones, a collection of beads, a collection of stamps, stamp collection that used to be quite popular. Probably not anymore so much. But anyway, question number 3. What is the most likely reason the author ends the selection with the ideas in paragraph 10? Back we go to paragraph 10. Howdy, paragraph 10. See what you got. The books are still popular with children today, with families and schools across the country. It's not surprising that more than 2 billion little golden books have been printed. Next time you are in the library or in your school or in town, see if you can find them. They're still around today, just as they were in 1942 with their little golden foils on spine. So, most likely reason that it ends with this. Okay, to show the reader what a little golden book looks like, to tell why little golden books are still sold today, to point out how long little golden books have been in print, or to tell the reader that little golden books can still be found today. What's the answer? 3D. Yup, it's D. 3D is the right answer. They're still found today. You can find them in schools. You can find them in town. You can find them in the libraries. And the author encourages you, me, the reader, to go out and find these books. Perfect. How did publishers make little golden books easy for shoppers to find? Oh, I think I remember this one. Do you remember? Let's go back. When for shoppers to find, where was that? That was in Little Books for All, I remember. Soon could be found in grocery stores. The books were easy for buyers to find because they had their own unique look. They all had golden foil on the spine of the book. Now let's see if we can find an answer that matches that. They offered many different stories. They included small gifts for the books. They printed each book with the same spine, or they provided a place for the owner's name. What is it? A, B, C, or D? Bud, say it again. Say it louder. I can't hear you. Say it again. Ooh, oh, too loud. Yes, you're absolutely right, my friends. They were printed with the same spine, that golden foil on the spine. How cool is that? Question number 5. The selection titled Stories to Read and Enjoy is mostly about. Okay, let's go back. Stories to Read and Enjoy. That was the one, oh, yeah, that had the page break in it. It was on 2 pages. It was paragraphs 5 and 6 and 7. It said here the first 12 books. I'm going to go with the topic sentence of each of these paragraphs to help me kind of think about everything that we read. Soon other titles were created. Okay, so we had the Pokey Little Puppy and lots of different kinds of stories that were being written. And then here, some of the books were sold with records. That's right, you could listen to them as well. Super cool. Let's come down here and see what it says. The topics of some little golden books and what some books came with. The most popular little golden books and how to listen to them. The number of little golden books printed and which ones are still available. A little golden book that is still printed today and why it is so popular. Which one do you think it is? It's A. Yes, of course it is. That's right. The topics of some little golden books and what some books came with. So they came with the record, remember that? And then it also said the topics. What talked about the Macy's Day Parade and Dan the Bandage Man and the Little Pokey Puppy. These weren't just fairy tales anymore. People were writing brand new stories. Awesome. All right, here we go. Question number 6. What does the title of the selection Little Books Big Hit suggest about little golden books? Now remember, when it said the selection, that just means the article. It just means the reading. Okay? So they're talking about this happy little title over here. Little Books Big Hit. Ooh, I forgot to do my NF. There we go. Ooh, jeez. This is one funky looking thing, isn't it? Huh? Again, we're going to put the genre up here because we know that we've got to think carefully about the information that we learned. Okay, so little books, big hit. What does that mean? It's not a sentence. Little books. Well, little books must mean little golden books. Again, that's the main topic of this entire article. Big hit. Big hit. Big hit meaning if something is a hit, that means that people like it. It's very, very popular. So small books, but everyone likes them. Okay, all right, groovy. Let's go back to question number 6. Where are you, 6? 6, where are you? There we go. What does the title suggest about little golden books? The books have illustrations. The books are well liked. The books are very old. The books tell unusual stories. Tricky one here because just about every one of those is true, but we need to find the one and only answer that connects to the question. What do you think it is? B. The books are well liked. Absolutely right. When it says big hit, that means super popular. If something is super popular, it is well liked. I know that expression sounds a little bit funny, but well liked. Let's think about what things are well liked today in 2020. Star Wars, very popular, big hit. Star Wars is well liked. Other things, Marvel movies. Apparently, I'm thinking about movies. Really popular. Frozen 2, really popular. That was well liked. Hip hop music is well liked. Lots of different music out there as well. Yeah. Popular things. You get the idea. Those things are well liked. All right. Question number 7. What does it say? I want to know straight away. The author wrote this selection. Again, selection just means the reading. All of those paragraphs that we just read through, that's what selection means. The author wrote this selection most likely to tell the reader where children's books can be found, to entertain the reader with some old children's stories, explain to the reader the history of one type of children's book, or show the reader what to include in children's stories. Remember, why? What was the author's purpose? Why did the author write this? What were they trying to tell us? What do you think the answer is? It's C. You got it, pal. Good job. The author was explaining to the reader the history of one type of children's book. We know that the word history is particularly important because it's telling us about things that happened a long, long time ago when people couldn't even afford to really buy children's books. Then the publishers in 1942, then they became popular. They're in grocery stores. Everyone's buying them. They become a big hit. And that's the history of one type of children's book. Last question, friends. We've reached the end. Question number 8. Which of these little golden books was published first? Two Little Miners, The Pokey Little Puppy, Here Comes the Parade, or Dr. Dan, the Bandage Man? Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Stories to read and enjoy. Yeah, it was this section right here. At first, only 12 titles of little golden books were printed. One of these 12 was called The Pokey Little Puppy. It is still in print today. More than 15 million copies of this title have been sold, which is more copies than any other children's book. By going back and finding my evidence and underlining it, I can feel super confident about marking my answer B. The Pokey Little Puppy was one of the very first ones to be printed. Well done, my friends. So, headings, that was a big focus for us today, the text feature of headings. We used it to think about what we were going to learn. And then once we were done reading, we used those headings to help us really collect all of our thoughts and remember all of the information that we'd gotten in each of those sections. So, thank goodness the author here used those headings and organized their work into different sections. We were really able to use that to help us understand everything that we read. Great job today, my friends. High five. Give it up. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yes. Have a great day, my friends. I'll see you back here tomorrow. And thank you for reading with Mr. Scott, the ultimate champion. I will see you tomorrow from Mr. Scott. Bye.